So we've already done a section on population genetics. What we want to do now is do a section on ecology. And eco means home, so it's the city of the house of populations. And again, a population is a single species in a given area. And so what we want to do is look at how we decide things are happening. And somebody who does population ecology is wondering why we have certain amounts of numbers, why things are spread out the way they are, and what actually affects population size. So here we're talking about births and deaths, immigration, emigration, and then we're looking at different possibilities of how populations can actually physically grow. So what we want to do is take a kind of a closer look at this. Again, population is a group of individuals of a single species in a given area. And if you're doing population ecology, what you're really looking for is density and dispersion. So density is how many individuals do you have in a given area? You know, like if we were back in class, there would be, you always see the occupancy sign. This class holds 50 people, whatever it is. So when we count the number of students, you know, that is the density. And what affects that will be birth rate and death rate, and immigration coming in or immigration going out. So those are the factors that do affect it. Dispersion, on the other hand, is how those individuals are spread throughout that given area. And there's actually three different kinds. The first one we're going to do is called clumped. And that's where individuals are all grouped together. So if you look at this, you can see there's a bunch of C stars here. Looks like there's some C stars bunched over here. There's some barnacles, clumped. And these are all like California mussels. And so what we're looking at is these guys are grouped together, and they're grouped together typically because of some limited resource, either light or water or food or something to that effect. The other, another type of dispersal is uniform, where organisms are fairly evenly spaced amongst themselves. What you're looking at is a breeding colony of penguins, and so they need a certain amount of space amongst themselves, and so they evenly separate themselves out. And then the third one is random, where there's no rhyme or reason behind where they are located. You can't predict where the next one might be. And so my question to you when you look at these is, which one of these would you think is the most common? And I'm going to tell you, it is clumped. Most species actually are in the clumped pattern. That is the most common. Again, it's a limiting resource that typically does that. So my question then might be, is humans, which ones are we doing? And I will tell you that humans are clumped. Now, this is kind of an interesting idea, and I taught an ecology class at Cal Poly. And one of the labs we did was maybe annoying to the students, but we had particular organisms on a map and asked if they were clumped or random or uniform, and they had to do some calculations. But one of the problems to understand is when you look at dispersal, you have to look at kind of what your size is. So if I look at humans in a neighborhood tend to be fairly uniform because we have properties, and those properties are typically about the same size. So if I was to look at my street or my neighborhood, you know, from an upper view, what you're seeing is people look like they are uniform. But if I pull away from that and look at the bigger picture, like in the United States, what you're going to finding is we're not uniform, but we are actually clumped at that higher magnet, or that higher area or bigger area. And that is because what do humans clump around? And what I want you to think about is, where do people live? You know, what are the big cities? LA, New York, DC, Detroit, You know, that's just naming a few, Boston, but they're really lumped around water. And water is our limiting resource. If you look at the United States, where do most people live? Most people live on the coasts or around the Great Lakes or along the Mississippi River, Colorado River. You know, Vegas shouldn't be there. We pump water in. There's way too many people. But reality is we are. All right. And with that, we will stop the share and stop the recording.